Yo, do you want to hang out next week? Sorry, I can't. I'm gonna be away next week. Oh, nice. Where are you going? I'm going to Japan. Didn't you just go to Japan? Maybe.
Bruh.
If you haven't been living under a rock, you might have noticed that a lot of people are traveling to Japan right now. Maybe you've traveled to Japan. Or maybe you're in Japan right now.
6番線に快速お面行きが参ります。
In 2024, 37 million tourists traveled to Japan, which is almost double from 10 years ago. By 2030, Japan is prepared to accept 60 million tourists annually. There are many reasons why tourism is on the rise in Japan. And in this video, I'm going to share 8 reasons why I think everyone and their grandma is going to Japan. Let's start with the obvious. Everyone is watching anime. You probably have a Japanese car. Or maybe you have a PlayStation. Or a Nintendo Switch. And is that a Uniqlo Airism t-shirt you're wearing? Whatever the case may be, Japanese products and media are everywhere. And as a result, people all around the world have taken notice. You got weeaboos, anime fans, car enthusiasts, gamers, fashionistas, Pokemon card collectors, and even fans of niche subcultures like city pop and rail fans. Not only are these exports made in Japan, they also represent Japanese culture in some way. And that sparks interest in Japan, and might spark interest in people wanting to travel to Japan. Picture this. You land in Tokyo after a 14-hour flight, and you walk out of Haneda Airport and you see 7-Elevens, shrines, vending machines, a lot of vending machines, boxy cars, bullet trains, millions of Japanese people, spotless streets, Mount Fuji, and toilets that spray you get the point. The experience feels overwhelming, unique, and exciting all at the same time. You feel culture shock. I think a lot of people have seen a glimpse of this online through social media, but it's not until you actually get there that you truly notice how different Japan is from the West. But that's why you travel to Japan, or any country for that matter. You get to experience a new culture, see the sights, eat the food, and interact with the people. To understand why Japan may seem unique or weird compared to other countries might be because of its history. During the Edo period, from 1639 to 1853, Japan was isolated from the world, during which the Tokugawa shogunate restricted foreign relations and trade. This included banning most foreigners from entering the country and prevented Japanese citizens from leaving the country. This was partly due to the spread of Christianity from Spanish and Portuguese missionaries arriving in the southern region of Japan during the 16th century. The Tokugawa shogunate feared a foreign influence taking over Japan as Christianity was spreading, so he banned Christianity and closed the country from the outside world for 200 years. During this time, Japan experienced peace and stability, which allowed for Japanese culture, art, and the economy to prosper. This lasted until 1853, when American ships arrived to Japan, demanding Japan to open the country. Enough with the little history lesson, but the main point I'm trying to get across is, I think it's really refreshing to experience a country and culture that feels and looks so different from your own. And it's nice to get out of your comfort zone sometimes, as life can feel like you're stuck in your routine or on autopilot. And some things may resonate with you and some things won't. But the experience you have from traveling to Japan hopefully will open your eyes to new ideas, inspire you, and have a long-lasting impression.
Get out!
Japan is a food country. Just turn on the TV and you're bound to see someone taking a bite of something and shouting,
Oh, うめえこれ。
美味しい。
そのまんまやばっ。長い。
Japanese people have a passion for food, and you can see it in anime, TV shows, movies, and just the sheer amount of restaurants and other places you can get food in Japan. There's even a word for it, kuishimbo, which means a person who loves to eat. I think I might be a kuishimbo. Japanese food is popular all around the world, but Japanese food in Japan, that just hits different. This is because Japanese food doesn't use the most spices or herbs compared to other cuisines, but it focuses on emphasizing the natural flavors of local ingredients and seasonal produce native to Japan. For example, I live in Canada, and the growing season is a lot shorter compared to other countries. So we have to import a lot of our produce from countries like America, Mexico, China, and a lot of countries from South America. But in Japan, a lot of the produce is grown in Japan, so some fruits and vegetables are only available during peak seasons. Japan also has a lot more small and independently owned restaurants compared to the West. And with competition high, you know the people making the food are putting a lot more care in preparing it. But I would say one of the best things about eating out in Japan is that you can get a pretty good meal for the fraction of the cost that you would pay in the West, and there's no tipping. For example, in the US and Canada, a bowl of ramen after taxes and tipping will cost you around $20 or more. But in Japan, it will usually cost you around 1,000 yen, or $10. And I think that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. So all in all, I think I really like food, so that's one of the reasons why I travel to Japan. And I think that's why a lot of other people travel to Japan. Speaking of food, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Sakurako, a monthly Japanese snack box. I'm just kidding. No one watches my videos. If you have interest in Japan, you probably come across videos like only eating Japanese convenience store food for 24 hours, 21 must-try Japanese convenience store foods and drinks, something along those lines. And these videos have millions and millions of views. And I think for good reason, because if you go to your local 7-Eleven in, let's say, Canada or the US, you can get a bag of chips, a chocolate bar, a drink, and a stale hot dog that's been on the grill all day. But at a Japanese 7-Eleven, you can get everything you can get at an American 7-Eleven, plus prepackaged meals, bread, fried chicken, desserts, alcohol, rice balls, also known as onigiri, ramen, common household items, and you can even pay your taxes if you want. This kind of ties in with the convenience of Japan. The work culture in Japan is not the greatest, to say the least, with many people working overtime without extra pay. So a lot of the time, Japanese people don't have time to cook. So if they're in a rush, they can just grab a quick meal at a local convenience store. This also can apply to you if you travel to Japan. Let's say you need to catch a train from Tokyo to Kyoto, but you woke up late and had no time to eat breakfast. You could grab a rice ball from a Lawson on the way to the train station and just be on your way. This doesn't just apply to convenience stores. The public transportation in big cities like Tokyo and Osaka are really well connected and efficient. You don't need to rent a car to get around. You can take the subway, the bullet train, or the bus, which are pretty clean and actually arrive on time. This makes traveling around Japan more convenient and less of a headache. And the numerous amount of train stations and convenience stores are also a reliable place to use the toilet if you're not near your hotel. And I feel like when you go back to your home country after visiting the most convenient place in the world, you're gonna be thinking, why can't my country be like this? Japan isn't a religious country, but it's filled with historic temples, shrines, and castles. It also has megacities, with soaring skyscrapers, towers, and city skylines. Japan is also a mountainous country, with mountains covering 3/4 of the total landscape, and has natural geothermal hot springs. Japan is an island. It's actually made up of 14,125 islands. The southern prefectural island, Okinawa, has a subtropical climate with white sandy beaches and crystal clear blue water. The northern part of Japan is among the snowiest areas in the world and is renowned for its powder skiing and snowboarding. One trip to Japan is not enough time to cover all of what the country has to offer. And I think that's why a lot of tourists come back to Japan, because your second or third trip can be completely different from your first one, as there's so much to see and do throughout the country. Usually on your first trip, you do the so-called Golden Route, which involves visiting Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and Nara. But on your second trip, you could visit Hokkaido and have some of the best seafood in the country and go skiing on Mount Niseko. Or you could visit the Chubu region and walk the Nakasendo Trail and visit Shirakawa-go and eat the famous Hida beef. I think that's the great thing about Japan, is that there's so much variety in the landscape, the climate, food, and activities that regardless of what type of person you are, I think there's something for everyone. The Japanese currency, the yen, has been on the decline during the years following the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine. This bodes well for tourists as they're able to spend more within the country, making Japan an attractive place to travel. However, due to a rapid increase in tourism, prices for hotels have risen as well, making it difficult for Japanese people to travel within their own country. But recently, Japanese tourist attractions have announced that they will be introducing a dual pricing system starting in July. One for Japanese citizens and a more expensive price for foreign tourists. Well, at first glance, you may feel conflicted with the two-tier pricing system. I think overall, it's a good thing because it's pretty sad that Japanese people aren't able to afford traveling within their own country. Safety is an important aspect when traveling to a new country, and I think Japan is pretty safe. Now, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak on my own experiences, but I don't feel unsafe walking at night in Japan, or I don't have to worry about someone pickpocketing me on the train or in crowded places. I've even heard of stories of people losing their wallet and them getting it back. For example, it's not uncommon for people to lose their wallet while traveling. But in most countries, once you lose your wallet, it's gone. You'll rarely ever see it again. But in Japan, it's not uncommon for you to get it back. Most of the time, their wallet will be in the last place they saw it, or sometimes it's at the police station where someone turned their wallet in. Now, I'm not saying Japan is the safest country ever and that you should be careless and just leave your wallet hanging out, but I think the relative safety of Japan makes traveling a lot more comfortable and easier for people. Now, no country is completely safe. For example, in the Shinjuku or Roppongi areas of Tokyo, there have been instances of scammers standing outside of bars that will try to lure you in with cheap drink prices. But when you go in, they either charge way more than what's priced, or even worse, they'll spike your drink so you'll be unconscious, and they'll max out your credit card. Yeah, really scary stuff. So just make sure you do your research before traveling to Japan, just to make sure that you can watch out for these kind of scams. But overall, I think Japan is pretty safe. I think all these points I've listed just combine to make traveling in Japan just really fun. I mean, there's endless things to do and see throughout Japan, whether you want to visit old castles or temples or shrines. You can go hiking up Mount Fuji. You can explore Tokyo. Tokyo is actually the city with the most Michelin stars in the world, which is pretty cool. Going out drinking is really cheap and affordable. They actually have something called nomi hodai, which means all you can drink. Some restaurants and karaoke places offer it, where you can drink as much as you want within a certain time limit. The public transportation is world class and comes on time. The people are really nice, the streets are clean, and the culture is just so unique and exciting. I personally have a lot of fun whenever I visit Japan. It keeps me always wanting to come back and visit again. And based on the numbers, it seems like a lot of people have similar experiences. Well, that concludes the video. Thank you guys for watching. It's my first long form video, so please be nice in the comments. Let me know down in the comments if you had similar experiences or if I missed something, or even if you had a completely different experience while traveling Japan. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.